Thank you for sharing that. And as you shared your own journey, right, as a young woman, and especially as a woman also, I think that presents its own unique set of challenges. How have your view, your confidence about yourself grown or changed over the years? And then how do you take it forward?
It has changed vastly. So I think on the one hand, I'm really glad that I had the background as a professional singer because that taught me to present in a confident way, even if I wasn't feeling confident on the inside. But on the inside, I had a lot of imposter syndrome in the early years because, first of all, I felt completely out of my depth because I was suddenly working in industries that I wasn't familiar with. And I also have a tendency to work in industries that are heavily male predominated. So first of all, my first startup was in the taxi and transportation field. And then I was going in IoT and hardware. So yeah, I was always very much the minority in those fields. And I felt like I had to work harder to prove myself and to prove my worth. And it's not easy when you go into a conference room and there's a round table with 20 men and you're the only woman and you also happen to be 20 years younger than any of them. So I do feel like I did have to really earn the respect, maybe more so than a man would have had to do. That also motivated me to deep dive really into my industry to make sure that I would become the expert so that no one could question me. And that did work. And of course, it's not quite fair that maybe a man would not have to do the same, but that was the world I was living in. And honestly, I did experience quite a bit of sexism. I would say the more on the subtle end of sexism, just of, for example, one of our clients accused me of being an actress hired to play the CEO in a video just because I was good at presenting. And he thought, well, she can't be the real CEO. And I was like, excuse me, sir, I actually am. So I think it's just assumptions, or many times people accidentally assumed I was the receptionist or the secretary when they came to the office, even after I'd shake their hand and introduce myself, and they had seen my name on emails. And I think because I have an unusual name, some people don't realize that Bryony is a woman's name. So even if we've been emailing, they still assumed I was a man. So yeah, sometimes you do have to realign their expectations a bit.
Yeah. And how do you do that without losing your sense of balance or composure? Because I also know that can totally take you off your game. Like what you shared, it's not trivial, it's huge.
Yeah.
Somebody mistaking you for the reception, it can be a huge shock to you.
Yes.
How have you learned to retain your balance and then also respond and also stand up for yourself?
Well, first of all, as a woman, you grow up in a society that is patriarchal. So we've had many years of experience before even entering the workplace of people underestimating you, people making assumptions about you, people judging you based on what you're wearing or how you speak. So I would say on the one hand, just growing up in society has taught me to adapt to my environment, which is a good evolutionary skill in the first place, but it applies very much to the workplace as well. So I still do today. When I moved to Bahrain, of course, I needed to dress in a way that was respectful to the local culture. So I did that so I could integrate, because only by integrating could I do my job well of planning events and networking and getting to know the local community. Yeah, so I think there is a certain element of that adapting to your environment, and that there's more adapting that needs to be done for women, but also just like knowing your own boundaries. And it starts to sound a little bit, I don't know, like self-help books if you preach too much, but there is actually a lot to be said for knowing your own worth and believing in yourself and carrying that inner confidence. Because when you walk into a room with confidence, then people will pay attention. And that's something that I was able to fake it till you make it at the beginning because I had practiced the confidence on stage. But by now I have it inside because I know that in the 15 years of my career in the startup ecosystem, I have proven my worth time and time again. So now I can walk into a room and command that confidence authentically.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And I think you mentioned something important about self-worth. And I just want to add that to not mixing it up with your title or with your success, material success, and to keep it right that even if the startup fails or even if my project fails, I still retain that self-worth and it's not mixed together.
Yeah.
And, and as you, go on.
Yeah, I think it's really important. As you said, many people will, if you join a new organization with little experience, you'll need to start at the bottom and work your way up. So it doesn't matter whether you are an intern or whether you're the CEO, you can always do the best job you possibly can. And knowing your self-worth just comes from, at the end of the day, have I done my best? Did I do a good job? Have I learned? Did I grow? And these are the things you should ask yourself rather than, don't worry about how much you're being paid right now.